Okay, quick update. Got this junk heap sort of cleaned up. Organized junk heap. And extra drywall and whatnot over here. So, it's not too bad. Thought it would take up more space. And I did get rid of some boxes and some other trash and whatnot, and then these 2 bags of trash were everything I swept up. Drywall dust is super fine, so it's definitely not completely clean, but for today it is, and it's progress. It's the lovely window that's no longer there. And oh yeah, so basically my plan is to get an 8x10 area rug, so I can stand in a good spot. Want something pimp with, really long shag. And basically, well, it's essentially 12 feet across. So I'm going to put it from there, and then it'll come over to like there, so then I won't have to cut the corner out for that. So they'll just be this here, but the bed's going to be there anyway. And then over here it comes, well, that's an 8 foot sheet of OSB there. So yeah, it'll be 10 foot that way, 8 foot this way. And so it does, or would, because of the little bit of loss you get over there at the wall, or I don't know, something. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be an inch or so. I'll just make a couple slits, fold it down, staple it there. And then I'll have to figure out which way the bed goes, because if I put a 5x7 foot bed, it's going to come to like right here. Well, from that perspective, it's going to a couple inches under the ladder there, which I guess actually the ladder could move down a little bit, couldn't it? Got room. Anyway, that's not that important. But you hear all that squeak, and this floor is mushy. It is really not. It's only 2x8s. So that kind of sucks. It's a bit mushy. So I'm thinking in the future I will get some 3/4 or 1-inch plywood and lay it flat this way, glue it and screw it down, and that's should be plenty at that point, and then it won't be mushy, but not that big a deal. So then over here, so the carpet only will come to here, or the area rug. So over here I have more of that sweet linoleum or vinyl tile, whatever it's called, for here. And for one, it'll just be easier to keep it clean. I definitely wanted a landing here for anything wet and snow and stuff going out on the roof. I'll have some sort of plastic at the base of the ladder. Of course, this ladder setup really isn't permanent anyway. There'll be a pull-down ladder of some kind, or stairs or something eventually. So that's one of the reasons why it kind of doesn't matter where the bed is, because I go up there so seldom, at least right now anyway, that the bed could just be moved out the way, I guess. I don't know. Not really, though, because there'll be space. Anyway, figure that out at that point in time. Free up some space here, because I've basically given up on this window anyway. Take those windows and screens outside. That'll free up some space. Still have all this drywall scraps. I'm still holding on to them because I do need to do the banister here. Although, thinking I'm going to move the OSB, which is the strength, to the other side. And then on this side put, actually I don't think it'll be it'll be drywall on the inside. And then I'm thinking, I don't know, might just be a big waste of time for not that much storage. But I was thinking of making these kind of fold out to hold stuff. Haven't gotten to the storage phase, but that's in the small space. Definitely want to maximize all the storage that I can, so there'll be lots of shelves on the walls and so on and so forth. So that's while we're at it, take a little look up in the skylight here. Still gotta go inside there, put some insulation, and should probably throw some insulation up over those vents up there. I need to make some insertion blocks, or whatever you want to call them. But then still there's going to be the one by here to add that second window layer. / right now it'll just be the Hillbilly window plastic. And yeah, so right now and now that I removed this little bit of plastic, just the drop cloth, thin drop cloth that was over this, does make a difference. And then when that hole's blocked with that, for keeping the heat down there. But it really, now that it's all open and the insulation and everything the way it is, it doesn't change anything. It does stay about, seems like no matter what I do to heat the downstairs, at least right now, no matter what I do, it doesn't get above 60 up here. Or like 62. But I'm sure that has a lot to do with this big gaping hole right here. With no, just that single pane Lexan there. So, and you can definitely feel the cold just putting your hand up there. Because I had considered, I have this nice lip right here, putting the plastic there and then putting another plastic around that lip, and eventually just having a piece of plexi or Lexan or whatever that goes in there, for the winter, if it makes a difference. But I really want to experiment with plastic before going through all that, and then it doesn't even do nothing really. So, and I'm still just running on diesel heater. Diesel heater's not that big, and I'm actually using it at a fairly low setting, even when it's in the teens outside. I think the coldest night we've had has been around 10. But that was only a limited time, and it was cold. It was cold in here, but I can easily keep it at 70 downstairs. But I usually keep it around 65 to 68, somewhere in there. And that's, the diesel heater has basically 4 settings, 4 intensity settings, if you want to call it that, that are usable. As far as I know, it's really inefficient when you go to 5 and 6. So it's not really used. So 1 through 4, I'm usually on either, if it's above 35 outside, definitely on 1, and it's going to be getting hot in here, at least downstairs. And then, but most of the time I'm using 2. And if it's a little bit on the cold side, I'll put it up to 3. I really only use 4 if I'm trying to raise the temperature, but to maintain, you don't have to go above 3. And then, so it's using about a gallon. On 2, it's using about a gallon and a third of diesel per day. So it's really not that bad. But once I fire up the rocket mass heater, probably, maybe when the weather gets worse, I don't know, it's kind of up and down. It definitely won't be a problem keeping it warm in here. That thing, it can make it really hot in here, actually. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And then besides that, I now have 3 diesel heaters anyway, so 2 of them work. The third one needs to be cleaned. So I was thinking about just putting the second one up here, like maybe right there, and that can supplement, at different times if I want to take the chill off up here or whatever, until I get everything completely figured out. But for that, it's more of the exhaust. It's going to be a little bit of a pain. Do I put another exhaust port outside, or do I just connect the 2 exhausts of the diesel heaters together, and then finding the right apparatus for that? There's got to be some kind of splitter that would do that, but I guess that would probably be like a Y pipe, like in car exhaust. I don't know. I'm sure I can figure out something if I want to. So yeah, enough rambling. That's current situation. I've had enough for one day. Peace out.